Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are. On the face of this very planet, once again, we welcome you to another live, interactive, and enlightening edition of Radio Biafra presentation. This very day, the first day of June, in the year of our Most High Elohim 2021. The time now is 5 minutes past the top of the hour, wherever you are, 5 minutes past 7 p.m. in the hallowed, sacred, and blessed land of Biafra. The day after our historic and unprecedented lockdown of Biafra land. The day yesterday that sent a very clear and unmistakable message to our enemies that our people have arrived finally. And our destination is Biafra's sovereignty. And as we have embarked upon this very journey, we are dragging other ethnic nationalities with us in order for them to be free as well, not just us. We desire freedom for everybody, not just for Biafrans, but for every component unit in that damnable zoological republic created by a white man for the habitation of animals. We are live and we are direct, and the whole world is bearing us witness. And this evening, as always, I must remind each and every one of you to inform those around you. You must send these links to the ends of this very world, that others may also participate. We are live on a multitude of platforms. We are on satellite, we are on FM in Biafra land and some parts of Nigeria. We are also live on Twitter, on my handle. We are live on Instagram. A lot of you are on Instagram already and watching. I welcome each and every one of you. We are on Radio Biafra app. We are on University of Radio Biafra. We are on Biafra television. Oh, Canada is too much. We are on Biafra television. We are on Sweet Radio. We are on Radio Garden. We are on Tuning. We are on Radio Biafra app itself. We are on YouTube as well. If you want to listen to us, you should and ought to be able to do so. Because as I can assure you right now, if you call any politician of importance that you know, they will tell you he's in a meeting or she is in a meeting. Because everybody is listening to us live. Every government of the world is listening. Because here they know they get the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. There is now a very clear and unmistakable understanding that we are whiter than white and whiter than snow, that our people listen to us. Anything we say is what our people will do. It is now very clear. Therefore, this evening I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to all of you. Not just Biafrans, not just the members of this very noble family, but all lovers of freedom all over the world. Those who are wishing us well, we also wish them well. Those that wish us evil, we also wish them twice the evil that they are wishing us. My name is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I am the leader of the largest mass movement on the face of this very earth, as was clearly demonstrated yesterday without any shred of any doubt. It was made very clear yesterday how formidable and how mighty this noble family is. But of course, by the grace of God Almighty in heaven, unto whom every glory and honor belongs to. It is not us that is doing what we are doing, but Elohim in heaven that determined that we should come. I welcome each and every one of you. We are here to preach the gospel of hope, the gospel of redemption, the gospel of restoration, the gospel of renewal, the gospel of liberation. That those who are unfortunately trapped in the zoological republic may be set free without fear nor favor. Here we preach the truth. If you do well, we praise you. You mess around, we shred you. That's who we are. We are not going back. We only move forward because there is There is no retreat. There is no surrender. It doesn't matter what comes out of the mouth of the Janjaweed. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they write. It doesn't matter who they collude with. They can go and get all the useless, idiotic, gutter Yoruba media. It doesn't mean anything to us. You can write whatever junk you like. It is entirely your business. It has nothing to do with us. Because our hands are clean. And we are marching on relentlessly and resolutely towards this very glorious land flowing with milk and honey, the land of Biafra, the only place in the world where within a proximity of only 60 kilometers, you will see natural gas and oil forming side by side with coal, side by side with white and black marble, side by side with gold, side by side with diamond, for goodness sake. Everything that man can ever desire is in the land of Biafra. That is why the Janjaweed are so desperate to lay their hands on it for their masters, the British. But we have come to do the very right thing, and this evening we shall preach this very gospel as we have been mandated to preach. But first of all, we are going to pray. And as I told you yesterday, today we are going to pray Psalm number 2. We are going to pray for the next 150 days. I want to let our people understand that Chukwu Kikabiama is with us. Before the end of this very prayer session, you will see the manifestation of the goodness of the Most High upon the lives of His children, so that when Biafra comes, you will know who to give glory and honor to. That's what I'm saying to you. Just do as I ask you to do, and you see what will happen. Today we are going to, yesterday we prayed Psalm 1. Today is going to be Psalm, the book of David, number 2. Today we are going to pray it for the whole world to know. And I will try to be as brief as possible this very evening, because I want some of you to speak. Yesterday was our sit at home. I want those that participated, especially those who are at home, to call us later on during this very program to tell us about their experience yesterday back home, and what, I love to hear what our enemies are saying. They are filled with shame. Those people that will normally come out, we are directing them not to sit at home. Today they are covered with shame because they can't do, even themselves, they obeyed the sit at home. Mandiara, mad people obeyed. It was only 2 unknown goats that I saw somewhere, which of course I tweeted, 2 unknown goats. And I'm sure justice was done in the end, because they ended up as unkwobi on somebody's plate. This evening we must pray, and pray we shall. Psalm number 2, please. We are going to Psalm, the book of Psalm, in the Torah, chapter 2. And it is for the Fulani Janjaweed. This is what, you see, that is why Elohim said we should read Psalm from every day. We pray with 1 Psalm. Today we are going to pray with Psalm number 2. And isn't it very, very funny? It is the day they claim that whoever is wearing the hyper reality mask of the dead Buhari issued a statement through, of course, surprise, surprise, Femi Adesina. He can no longer address people live, and you're so idiotic you don't know the fool is dead somewhere in Saudi Arabia. They're playing with your brains, but you cannot say, of course, you're black people. What do you know in this UG? Let us pray to the Most High in heaven. I will pray in English language that the whole world may understand the importance and the essence of this very gospel that we have been mandated to preach to the sons of men. Why do nations rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Fulani Janjaweed and their Yoruba friends, some of them like Tinubu. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Almighty, Chukwukikabiama in heaven, and against his anointing, IPOB, saying to themselves, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. The same thing that the Fulani Janjaweed was saying this morning. I want people to understand that everything we do, we are guided in the spiritual realm to do that which is right. Today we are reading and praying to Elohim with Psalm number 2, the Psalm of David. And rather, very fortuitously, it is the same day that the Fulani Janjaweed is saying exactly what David was lamenting about in the book of Psalms. We started yesterday. I did not know they were going to make these comments today. But Elohim that we are praying to this evening, the Alpha and the Omega, Ancient of Days, the Ancient of the Ancients. We are praying on today the prayer of your servant. On the same day that what we are lamenting about with David in Psalm 2, chapter 2. Isn't this our God marvelous? Are you not great? Go and listen to what their coalition said earlier today. Go through what they claim their so-called president issued. Of course, is Yusuf Abubakar Mohammed from Niger Republic, wearing the mask because Jubilee ran away. And when I was making this proclamation yesterday, I never knew that events would turn out the way it did today. But it is here. Why do nations rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The vain thing here being that they are planning to crush Biafra, which is uncrushable. The kings of the earth and the rulers of the world, Britain, Fulani Janjaweed Caliphate, you people are holding meetings together, according to the servant of God, David, against the children of God. Psalm number 2. When I asked you to read the psalm with us and pray it every day, I never knew this was going to happen. You people are holding your meetings together saying, let us destroy Biafra and cast asunder the works of IPOB. And now, the God that I worship, that gives me every revelation before mortals can see it, is in high heavens. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and the Lord shall have all of you in derision. The host of heaven shall rise against all of you. It is a divine proclamation. That is why the zoo can no longer be salvaged. It is impossible. So says the Lord of hosts. For gathering against his children, Nigeria will be destroyed beyond redemption. Beyond redemption. That is the word of God upon which I stand to preach this very gospel this evening. Elohim shall hold all of you in contempt and in derision. The God that we bow before shall destroy all of you that plan and plot against Biafra and IPOB. Then shall Elohim speak unto them in his wrath, and so shall the displeasure of the Creator of the heavens and the earth be made manifest in the lives of everybody who rises up against Biafra. And yet I have set my king upon Zion, my holy hill. I will declare the decree the Lord has said unto me. You are my son. This day have I begotten thee. Are you listening? That we are the children of the Almighty in heaven. And ask of me anything you want, and I shall give it unto thee for thine inheritance. And we, Biafrans, this night, this evening, morning, and noon, we are asking for that which you promised us, which is freedom. Nothing more, nothing less. We don't want the lands of any other people. We do not want what doesn't belong to us. All we are asking for is freedom, not just for Biafrans, but freedom for every oppressed ethnic nationality in the damnable zoological republic. You said that we, Eastern Security Network, is going to break them with a rod of iron. And we are going to cut them into pieces like a broken potter's vessel. And now, according to David, a servant of God, we must now be very, very wise and disciplined. And we are warning every political leader and every judge upon the face of this very earth, because we come to serve the Lord our God with fear, and our rejoicing will be with trembling. When we say we are whiter than white and whiter than snow, is because we worship our Lord God Almighty in heaven, Elohim, with purity of heart. If we Biafrans are not disciplined, if our hands and our hearts are not clean, God will be angry with us the way he is angry with us today. And we shall perish the way we perished between 1967 and 1970. If we do not keep our hands clean and stay away from every form of criminality, the wrath and anger of God will be upon us, his children. And blessed shall be the children of God, all those that put their trust in him, as we have done from day one. All this we pray, we ask for, in the name above every other name, now and forevermore. He say, we have come to preach this very gospel. I'm sure you have your pen and your paper ready, because we must say that for which we have been born. First of all, I want to commend Biafrans all over the world. Biafrans, not just IPOB family members, but Biafrans all over the world, on a resoundingly successful lockdown of Biafra land. Even those in Iguacha running their mouth like a woman that just had miscarriage. Like Wike. People talking rubbish all the time. Iguacha was on lockdown. The banks did not open. The markets did not open. Rather, very sadly and idiotically, Channels TV ran to the fool, Mrs. Tambuwal. I was interviewing, he was ranting his usual rubbish. You know, when you take too much Hennessy and cocaine, a fellow man climb you with your face, if pushing your head inside the pillow, you lose every sense of reasoning and perspective. That is what is happening to me. Jide your backside now like me. You lose every sense. I say, man. I want to ask you a question. Was OB on lockdown yesterday? Yes or no? And I want Channels TV to listen very carefully, because they are foolish. Very foolish. They claim they are practicing journalism. What they are doing, I have no idea. Channels TV, I know all of you are listening. Everybody listens to Radio Biafra, of course you do. I want to ask you a question. Wike, was Obibo on lockdown yesterday or not? And where is Obibo? He's in River State. Is that not correct? Is your village, Obibo, on lockdown or not? Wike, your village was on lockdown yesterday. Let me put it this way, very simply. All the upland of River State Was it on lockdown yesterday or not? Ask any banker you know in Iguacha. For the benefit of those who do not know where Iguacha is, it is called Port Harcourt in River State. Ask any banker in Port Harcourt yesterday, did you open for business? Why did you not open for business? Because an order was given. You must stay at home. And that order was obeyed. The idiot came on television. He can't even sit properly like a man. Because the guys who work a lion. He cannot sit properly. His bottom cannot sit properly. He sits like a woman. Watch him. Mrs. Tambuwal, you're talking rubbish on channels to let your husband know, oh, darling, I'm here. I'm still fighting the cause. I'm not Igbo. You want to please Fulani? Atoro. River State was on lockdown yesterday. When the media of the zoo we are reporting it, they never mentioned the fact. Let me not say the whole of River State. Let me try to be as objective as I can be. Parts of River State was on lockdown, true or false. Let us go to Delta. I know that Warri disappointed yesterday because our radio there is not working. It hasn't been working for a while now. Our relay station, we are going to fix it. Let me also ask Nigerian media journalists, all of you, was Ahaba on lockdown yesterday or not? The white man named it Asaba. The name is Ahaba. Was Ahaba on lockdown yesterday or not? Where is Ahaba? Your so-called Niger Delta South and all that rubbish. The capital city of Delta State was on lockdown. Why? Because of a very simple instruction. Sit at home. Honor our heroes. And they did. That is why this very evening, having recorded 100% compliance, I salute every Biafran. I can assure you that the spirit of those that served you between 67 and 70 will be rejoicing. Our eternal leader, Dimodimego Ojukwu, will be very happy. Ikonso will be very happy. I'm sure by now he would have gone back to dealing with Ibrahim Atahiru. I commend all of you. You were exceptional yesterday. And I must say, and the governors as well. When I say the governors, I know those I'm talking about. Ifeanyi Okowa. I'm talking about Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State. I'm talking about Obiano that led the way by building a cenotaph. Commendable. In fact, I wouldn't expect anything less because he is from the taproot of Biafra, of Igbo land itself. Which is, he is the son, a direct descendant of Iri. So I'm sure he did the right thing. I'm not going to call John Lion Yi, Makadiga Mama. If he does, if he makes one wrong move, I shred him. But when you do something right, of course, I'll commend you. We are very objective here. I want to also remember the speech that, the interview that Ibazu gave to Channels Television, very commendable, I must say. And also the vibes we were getting from the governor of Enugu State, highly commendable. And the surprising, surprise of all is Dave Umahi. He behaved like a man eventually. He behaved like a man, and I must commend him as well. They did very well. And may they continue along that line. May they, I didn't mention the Sarikin Fulani of Imo State because he's not a governor. He is an administrator for Fulani people. I cannot mention him. He came out to challenge us openly to say, this lockdown will not hold in Imo State. A 419, that our culture abhors. Do you know that in our culture in those days, if there is any whiff of criminality in your family, nobody will allow their daughter to be married into your family, and your daughters will not be married to anybody else. Are you aware of that in the olden days? All of you now celebrate criminality. You celebrate evil. I look at you and I laugh. In the olden days, it's called range to go and ask questions. When you want to marry a girl or a girl wants to get married to a man, they send people to go and ask questions about the family. Therefore, you know the first question they ask? Does this lineage have criminals in them? Because we don't want our daughter to go somewhere and be giving birth to criminals. All of you celebrate 419ers these days. I look at you and I laugh at you. In the time of the ancients, once there is, a whiff of or word that this family that they give birth to thieves, believe you me, all of that name, that lineage, you will die a natural death. Because nobody will agree to marry into that family. And nobody will come there to take their daughters. That's how we are as a people. An ex-419er, a murderer and a killer, was installed in Imo State, and he had the temerity. Nobody told him about what has gone before. That you don't come outside to challenge the will of God. Everything IPOB does is the will of God Almighty in heaven. That is why we pray the way we do. That is why we comport ourselves the way we do. That is why we are whiter than white and whiter than snow. That is why we are without blemish. Insofar as the restoration of Biafra is concerned, without blemish, I'm telling you. That is why everything I say comes to pass. That is why everything that IPOB touches turns into gold. That is why we are unstoppable. That is why, despite the fact that politicians do not support us, despite the fact that all the so-called money bags do not support us, today we are the largest, most potent mass movement anywhere on earth. We are formidable. IPOB. IPOB is a spirit. When you provoke us, we turn into monsters. But in the main, we are peace-loving people. Because we are the children of God Almighty in heaven. Without God, how can we be where we are today? I ask you. With nothing. That today we give a command and the whole world stands still. Do you think it is us that is doing it? It is God Almighty in heaven, using us as instruments to make the manifestation of his will upon the lives of his children a reality in their time. That's exactly what we are doing. IPOB is a monster, I'm telling you. I commend all of you. All of you, I commend each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. We are doing that which is right before God Almighty in heaven and the sons of men on this very earth. There was the only people that actually did something decent. The decent coverage was by Vanguard newspaper. I think it's one correspondent who wrote it. It's called, what's his name again? I think a lot of them put this very piece together. Very many of them. I think Vincent Ujumadu, Festus Ahon, Chidi Nwokpara, Chinonso Alozio, Gochukwu, Steve Oko is there, Ikechukwu, Odu Chinedu, Adon, all of them, Chimobi Nwiwu, Nwabweze Okonkwo, they went out onto the streets to ask questions. Because in the morning of this very this historic lockdown, not sit at home, lockdown of Biafra land yesterday, they sought permission to say, please, if we move about to ask, we said to them, as long as you're a journalist, nothing's going to happen to you. Go and ask questions. And they did. They did. Let me give you a few headlines as to what Biafrans did yesterday. The zoo is still in a shock. That was why some people hurriedly were putting their propaganda together. 4 ESN operatives killed, arms recovered, all these idiots. Even some fools used the name of Officer Akintoye to be writing rubbish, thinking I will respond to it. I know that's what Tinubu is doing. Is Tinubu, that's the way they operate. They think they can use the media to hoodwink and bamboozle all of us. They don't know that we're in a media age, and this generation is very, very savvy. They can discern, they can understand, they can interpret. Socio-economic activities paralyzed in Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra, Abia, Asaba, and Rivers. Which are you listening? You know, sometimes I wonder what Yoruba journalists gain by being mischievous and evil. There are some professions that doesn't actually suit black people. Any profession in this life that requires you to use your conscience to work for the benefit of humanity, a black person should not be occupying that position. I will enumerate later on. For the first time, Omoahia, the streets were empty. Omoahia, where I come from, is known for their stupidity and idiocy. Arguably one of the most un-Biafran and idiotic set of people on the face of this very earth. The Ibeku that I come from, very foolish. Most of you don't know that Agui Ironsi is an Ibeku man. It's from my clan. Do you know that? Do you know that the first general in the history of Nigeria, if not the whole of Africa, I mean battlefield general, not quota general, the person, the people that gave Ironsi his generalship were white people, not blacks. White. Oyibo. Ironsi was a battlefield general, not quota general. Agree. The first general, the first indigenous commander of the Nigerian army is from Ibeku, my clan, my village. Or should I say my mother's village in Duma? It's from Omwana. Ibeku. We produced the first military head of state, the first general ever, battlefield general, even general before the zoo became an independent flag, independent enclave of the British. And that Ibeku, if you ask them to sit at home, they'll be talking rubbish. That is why they were ignored. History forgot about them. It's my land, yes. History forgot about them completely because of their idiocy and stupidity. Omoahia is the land that produced Dr. Michael Okpara. The same way Omoahia produced Ironsi, Omoahia produced Dr. Michael Okpara. The man, according to Harvard Review, not black newspaper or magazine, according to Harvard Review, the fastest growing economy in the world, the man that made it possible. It was Okpara's miracle, economic miracle, that frightened Britain. That was why they organized the first coup, so that they can slaughter us. That man is from Omoahia. The only black man in the history of the world to grow the economy of his region faster than any other economy in the world, including USA, including Britain, including Japan, everybody else. Number one in the world is from Omoahia. Yet if you ask Omoahia, they don't even know who they are. That's why they are foolish. But I think yesterday they came back to their senses, and I commend them. Of course, Aba is always there. Aba and Onisha, how can I forget? Aba and Onisha. I salute them immensely. And they say better late than never. Enugu did very well, and I commend them. Ebonyi, of course, was there too. Enugu did, except people were lamenting. After my program yesterday morning, people started calling and lamenting. Some were calling my lawyers and lamenting and saying, how can he say this thing about Enugu? Enugu is complying. All we want is total compliance everywhere, because Biafra doesn't belong to me. I'm only preaching the gospel that heaven asked me to preach. Biafra is your own. You are fighting for a better future for your children, away from the horrible torment of Fulani Janjaweed Caliphate. Biafra is yours. It doesn't belong to me. When we ask you to sit at home, you must comply. It's for your own good and the good of your children. Today, haven't you heard that the whole world is reverberating to the success that was recorded? We are the very best of the best. And I must commend Governor Obiano for building the cenotaph. He built it last year. I think it was last year he built it, but this year, you know, our people, you know, Biafrans, everything takes time. Everything takes time. I'm sure in the next 2-3 years, if this tradition continues, the whole world, only then will the world recognize that there was genocide against us. So you don't know that? If you don't say you're somewhere, nobody will quote you that you're there. We cannot be going around and saying to the world, a great injustice was done to Biafra, or Zemena, when you yourself, you're not doing anything about it. Days like yesterday is what will bring to the fore the level of injustice and mayhem visited upon Biafran people. Only then will the world consider Biafra genocide as being worthy to be mentioned in the book of those that have been killed unjustly in the history of man. I said it yesterday and I want to say it again today that I'm commending Governor Willie Obiano, Ugwuanyi, Ikpeazu, Umahi, and Okowa of Delta State. Very, very critical. That I commend them because of the role that they played. Everybody got together and made sure that this happened. Imo State was not locked down. Thank you, my dear brother. It was chained. I can Imo State chained. Apple. Imo State was chained. That whole way was chained. No army, no police, nobody, no bagger there to move. On that chain. Lock and key. Over a municipality, on that chain. They couldn't come out. I don't care why they did what they did, even if after all, man's daily existence is politics itself. I don't care why the governors decided to change their minds, but we welcome it all the same. If they do the right thing, of course, we will commend them. We sat at home and I commend each and every one of you. Nobody should give any time to that idiot. Well, he now owns Channels TV. Every two days he will appear on channels. He will pay them money and they'll be writing rubbish about him. He was ranting as usual. After snorting cocaine and drinking Hennessy, his vocal cords all gone. A lawyer who doesn't know the meaning of the rule of law. Talking like somebody who maybe, you know, anything is possible these days. You know that men can become pregnant. Yeah? Are you aware of that? Do you know that men can become pregnant these days? Go and search for it. I won't say you Google it. I'll say go and search for it. Maybe use Bing search engine. Don't use Google because they've been bought over by the zoo as well. Go and search and you'll see it. Men can become pregnant. Maybe Wike had a miscarriage. You know. Anyway, I know that love is very strong. His love for Tambuwal, you know, outweighs his identity and ethnicity. That is why he's always ranting and talking like a fool. A man who sits on a chair like a woman. Oh dear me. I have said it before that any profession that requires men to fall back on their conscience when making decisions is not for black people. Why am I saying what I'm saying? In the zoo, before you can pass your exams, the lecturer must sleep with you. Is that not correct? Am I correct? Or you have to pay them bribe. Is that not correct? Is that not correct? It is only in Africa that pastors own private jets. The Pope, who is the richest religious figure in the world, has no jet. Africa houses the poorest countries in the world, but their pastors, they have private jets. An anomaly. They call it blessing. Any profession that requires men to use their conscience is not for black people. How about judges in a law court? In the zoo, they have two judgments. If you bring brown envelope, they give you a favorable judgment. That's what they do. Isn't it? Black people. How about journalism? Apart from Dele Giwa and a few other bright people, maybe now Dele Momodu, because he has seen the light, has seen the truth. Apart from Dele Giwa and now another Dele Momodu, maybe, if he can keep it up and continue to be consistent. The rest, are they journalists? Maybe once in a while. Or let me focus on the editors, not the journalists themselves, the editors. What you have in the zoo is journalism. Channels TV was interviewing Wike live. Channels TV is aware that Iguacha was on lockdown. They saw the pictures and they saw the videos. Instead of to ask the man, how come parts of River State was on lockdown? He said, I said, we are not part of them. IPOB cannot come here and tell us what to do. But I did. And they listened to me. They didn't listen to you. They didn't listen to you. Did they? You want me to send you the pictures and the videos? Please, people should send it on Twitter and tag him so he can see it. Pictures and videos of Iguacha, especially that idiot that went to a bank asking for the bank to open. And the bank said that we cannot open. There is an order, a sit at home. Send that video to Weekend to Channels TV. You know what I'm going there. Not you think if you appear so many times on Channels TV to impress your lover, Tambuwal, somehow they will believe you? Is that what you think? During referendum, you are talking like a drunken fool. During referendum, you only have one vote. Me, Nnamdi Kanu, only one single vote. Do you want Biafra to be free or do you want to remain in Nigeria? Simple. That day you cast your vote. Only one vote you will cast. You little demon. Idiots like you. After maybe 2 years, you come down there. Then it goes in here, if we don't get you before then. I say it out in the open. I don't hide it. You went, that as I've been saying, I want to go to Hague. I want to be tried in a law court anywhere in the world where all the facts about the zoo, all the nonsense you fools have been doing will be brought to public knowledge. That day, the whole world will know what you've been up to. Mad people. You remember there was a time even African referees were not allowed to referee any match because they are corrupt. That's black people for you. I don't want to spend time educating Channels TV and the wannabe Hitler Wike on how Rivers was created, but I'll just touch upon it very briefly. Wike, I want you to understand that River State, go to Wikipedia. After River State, you will see a bracket. Inside it is Igbo, IGBO, for information. Maybe tomorrow you pay them to change it. Oh, dear me. You were created in 1967. 27th of May, 1967, you were created. Remember what I told you people about Children's Day, 27th of May. Some of you don't know these things, but I will teach you. Children's Day that you are celebrating coincides with the day that River State was created. That was the day that the Eastern Consultative Assembly gave Ojukwu the mandate to declare Biafra. That same day, the British intelligence got wind of it through BBC correspondent in Enugu. And Britain called Gowon and told Gowon what was happening and gave Gowon this advice. That they themselves, being the British, the best way they have used over the centuries to conquer people is by dividing them. Divide them first, then you go and conquer them. Divide and rule. And go on that same 27 children, as I told you, the reason why they call it Children's Day. People don't know how important 27th of May is. It was on that same day as they were deliberating that River State was created. That same day. Are you following? People didn't actually go to school, writing rubbish and talking nonsense about the Constitution and all that rubbish. I look at them and I laugh because they are not educated. They didn't go to school. I went to Government College, University of Nigeria and Nsukka. Of course, SBS, Iguacha, School of Basic Studies in Port Harcourt. I went to London Metropolitan University. We are well read. I go because we are well read. We know what we're talking about. On that 27th of May, as British intelligence MI5 got wind of the fact that the Eastern Consultative Assembly had granted Ojukwu the right to proclaim Biafra on the 27th, they told Gowon to divide Biafra. That same day, and River State was created. Weak, are you listening? Because you don't know history. You're a fool. This reverse. I'm a reverse man. Reverse man. How old are you? You're just like those shouting one Nigeria every blessed day. Idiotic, moronic set of people. A man is 80-something years old, older than Nigeria by over 20-something years. And I'm asking you, before you became a Nigerian, who were you? They cannot answer. That is one thing I hold against Nigerians. And I will keep on holding them until their shame will sink into them. And Wike, I'm asking you, how old were you in 1967? Wike, I'm asking you. That was when your reverse was created. And you proceeded to go and start stealing properties belonging to your brothers. Because you don't want the land to kill you. That's why you said you are no longer Igbo. Idiot like you. If some of you have been following the news lately, you will see that they said it has passed the second reading or third reading, their restructuring bill. In that restructuring bill, they are now proposing to create a new state called an Neoma state with the capital in Ahaba, which some of you call Asaba, of course, because you're ignorant, you're all products of colonial rule anyway. And they plan to add it into Southeast. Ahaba, Delta State, Neoma, but not River State. Because Fulani is very lazy. They need to do to the rest of you what they did to Ogoni people. Then your eyes will open. By the time they'll be dealing with you, you'll be shouting and nobody will listen to you. Allow Wike to keep misleading all of you, like the idiots that some of you are. We used to have the same problem everywhere around Biafra land until we said no, enough is enough. Wike, go on, created you, Rivers, 27th of May 1967, the same day that the lies of Frank Opigo from Okrika, for your information. And a German was in Enugu advising Ojukwu. That same period, that same day, that same 27th. Ojukwu said, what shall we call this our new nation? After they had passed the resolution. And a German, I'm saying this because I've just said, Niger Delta, I'm a nation, other rubbish. I want you to listen to me very carefully. And a German rose up, Chief Frank Opigo, and said, the name of our new nation shall be Biafra. And Ojukwu asked him, why Biafra? Because Ojukwu himself, even a historian, an Oxford-trained historian, did not know. Frank Opigo whispered to him, not in here, I will tell you later what Biafra means. Do you know how God works? Ojukwu did not quibble. He did not argue. If Ojukwu wanted to dominate other people, if Igbos had wanted to dominate other people, Ojukwu would have just said, this new nation shall be called Igbo nation, isn't it? But you see, these people, I don't know. They said that the zoo army is in Abao, they're looking for trouble. When they get to them, they start complaining. Nigerian army is now in Aba, perambulating and patrolling, looking for who to kill. When the angels find them now and send them to God for judgment, you start writing rubbish. Now they are patrolling inside Aba, you cannot ask them to go back to the barracks and sit down. Because nothing is happening. As I was saying before, those zoo vermins interrupted my train of thought. That same 27th of May, 1967, that day is very, very critical, I'm telling you. As Frank Opigo and a German was telling Ojukwu, later on I will tell you why I recommended that the name should be Biafra. And the Holy Spirit was upon Ojukwu. God was, angels from heaven were ministering to him, telling him, listen to Frank Opigo. And as soon as Chief Opigo finished, Ojukwu said the new name shall be Biafra. If Ojukwu had domineering tendencies, if the Igbos wanted to lord it over every other person, to conquer them, I think Ojukwu should have insisted on the place answering Igbo nation, isn't it? That's pure common sense. As the Fulanis are doing to the Hausa people up north. Isn't it? Of course, Ahaba is in Mbito. Ahaba, Asaba is Ahaba. The name is Ahaba. Go there. If you go to Asaba tomorrow morning, you see the name there, Ahaba. Go and ask the traditional ruler. The Asaba of Asaba. Go and ask him, what is your name? He tell you that. If you go to his palace, you wrote Ahaba. That's the name. Like Ahabi Meni. Who doesn't know that? Is it all this nonsense, these corrupt, useless Yoruba journalists are writing every day that you're reading? That's why people who are born in Lagos sometimes, to be honest with you, I don't quite see them as normal people, to be honest with you. I'm being honest. All these people that grew up in Lagos and Kanu, all these places, they know nothing in their brain. They're the ones that will insist. The name is Asaba. It's Ahaba. Go there to Ahaba, you will see it. As you have Ahabi menu. Common sense they don't have, they claim they're educated. I went to school. I have PhD. Do you know who I am? Whereas your brain is empty. You know nothing, absolutely nothing. Ojukwu adopted the name Biafra. As Ojukwu was giving us the name Biafra, christening us Biafra, according to the advice of Chief Frank Opigo, one idiot or somewhere called Go On is saying, I'm going to divide you. I'm going to create Cross River, and I'm going to create a Goja State, and I'm also going to create River State. True or false? We can. I throw like you. What do you know? You go on channels and you're talking like somebody that fell from a palm tree that fell from palm tree. It's bad, huh? I throw like you guys. You claim you're a lawyer. You know nothing. Absolutely nothing. Your brain is empty. Absolutely empty. That is why a fellow man like Tambu will useless to your backside, because you're an idiot. You're a complete fool. You know nothing. I feel sorry for those you are deceiving. Poor students. You raise in the zoo, you go to NYSC, your brain is empty, you know nothing. Absolutely nothing. You don't know your history. You don't even know the history of your own village. We should start by asking, what is the history of my village? I know where we come from. My village. I kept asking my father before he passed. I kept asking him, tell me the history of Isiama Faruku, and he told me. The soldiers are molesting people. Katrina Lang, where you're having your head, I hope you're listening. Channels TV, Yoruba journalists, I hope you're listening. That soldiers, Nigerian soldiers are in Aban right now molesting people. I hope you can hear it. When there is equal response now, you start writing your junk. That's why I said that a black man should not be a journalist. We lack conscience. Black people do not have conscience. That is why you give chieftaincy titles to people who are doing 419. People like Hope Uzodinma can come and become a governor of a state. In the olden days, people like him will be exiled or sold into slavery because he's a thief. 419, come on. River State was created. In fact, I want to direct now, you claim you're a lawyer, and also Channels TV. Somebody should also email Channels TV, as many people as possible, the Willink Commission report of 1958. Because I don't know, is there anything wrong with your brain cells? You people, you animals in the zoo animals calling themselves Nigerians. Is there anything, are you sure your brain is not made of sawdust? Is there something in your brain that is stopping you from reasoning? I want somebody to send this very report, the Willink Commission report, to every idiot that calls him or herself a Niger Deltan. Send it to them. Send it to them, because the idiocy is becoming too much. This foolishness can no longer be tolerated. Send it to them. Ikwere, Eche, Ekpeye, Opobo, Ebane, which is born today, Orata, you know where? Is also in Ikwere land. They say they are not, we are from Benin, near the upper of palace, near his palace. Chai. Who did this thing to you people? Who did, I can understand. I know that black people by nature are very stupid. But it seems to me there are layers of stupidity. All these Niger Delta South people, it seems your own stupidity is incomparable. I'm telling you. God forbid. Oh, no wonder the Sultan can come to Bayelsa and own over 30 oil wells. Now you understand it, don't you? No wonder. No wonder Danjuma owns 15 oil wells. No wonder your land can be polluted and you can't do nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. What can you do? Nothing. You lament, you cry, and nobody listens. And they float NDDC. And their budget is maybe $1 million, and all of you are scrambling for $1 million. Whereas the Sultan of Sokoto preaching unity and one Nigeria is because of his oil wells in Bayelsa. And you're telling me you went to school. You're telling me you can reason. You are telling me you can think properly. Do you understand it? Do you understand it? Opobo, Iban, which they call Boni, Orata, Ogba, Ndoke are all indigenous Igbo extraction in River State. It is called Rivers Igbo. I want you to go to Wikipedia now and type in River State on Wikipedia. You will see it. River State, the first bracket you see is Igbo, IGBO. People may wonder, why am I preaching this all the time? Because I grew up in the village. And in the village, you learn a lot of things. Not like in the township, where you learn nothing. You live in a yard. I grew up in the village. And there is a saying where we come from. You can only show me my relative. You cannot show me my friend, because I make my friends myself. You can't bring somebody and say, oh, come, this is your friend. No. If at all any of you have had the privilege of staying in a village, in a Biafran, typical Igbo village, Biafran village, for up to a week, let's say during festive season, what happens usually? If you can remember, one them listen, intellectual, listen. When you are in the village, during any festive season, how many times have you heard your mom or your father say, oh, come, come, come? They will call your name and say, come. Come and see your uncle. Come and see your aunt. Come and see your cousin. How many times? Because they are all your relatives. That's the only people they can show to you. Nobody can show you your friend, because your friends you make yourself. Now you understand me? Going back to Wike and the Ikwere people, or some not Ikwere players, I don't want to generalize. After all, it was an Ikwere chief that was coming to see me when I was in prison. The delegation of people coming to see me when I was in prison, if you go to the archives of the people coming to court, anytime I have a case, they will charter luxurious bus from Iguacha all the way to Abuja. He's an Ikwere chief. Have you all forgotten? You have all forgotten, haven't you? So Wike cannot make me to generalize. I'm not stupid. Who were the people that observed the sit at home, the lockdown yesterday in Rivers? I don't know Ikwere people. Yes, and I'm asking you a simple question. So I'm not going to generalize. I am not going to generalize. Now listen to me. Before independence of the zoo, basically before the 27th of May 1967, there was no identity crisis in Rivers. None whatsoever. None. I have said this thing to people many times. They don't want to listen. When I was arguing about the origin of the Igbo race, some people said they're anthropologists, they're historians, and all that rubbish. They were talking pure people. And I tried to prove to them that the Igbo race is comprised or made up of three distinct people. Three distinct, I said different people make up the Igbo race. They were talking nonsense. I said to them that the best place Because our ancestors were very clever. How you know where you come from is by the names you give your children or the names you give your towns and your villages. And they said, how did I come to that realization? I said to them, do you know that the last phase that came, the house of Ephraim and Manasseh, that came from the Harish region of Israel, the last migration that came, those that passed through Ethiopia, that went through Rwanda and all the rest of it, through Cameroon before coming down to settle, crossing the Omambala River and settling at Umwere and Aguleri. Do you know who they are? Of course, people do not know. They were the ones that gave the name. They were the people that realized that the oldest people on that land are the Igbo people. When they came to a place called Agolo, they said that this is the road that leads to the settlement of Igbo people. They named it Agolo Ozo Igbo, which means Agolo, where you pass before you go to the settlement of Igbo people. Agolo, Agolo Ozo Igbo. Ozo means the road that leads to. The same way you have Akole and Ozo Akole. Ozo Akole means this is the road you use to go to Akole. I don't know if people are paying attention. Heaven. They are the ones that said this is Agolo Zibo. This is Agolo. This Agolo settlement is the road you use to go to where Igbos are. Agolo Esiaga Ebendi Igbo bi Agolo Ozo Igbo. I hope that makes sense to most of you. Now you understand. All of you fools claiming South. So, do you know that Aguleri people and Umweri can say they're not Igbo? Do you know that? Do you know that Owere people and Arotu can say they're not Igbo? Do you know that some parts of Umbise or Hoho and Dibeko can say they're not Igbo? Are you aware of that? Because the original people who were there can be found in a place called, we know our names are very brilliant. Ibuku. Hope you understand it very clearly now. You are following what I'm saying. I go back to the Willing Commission. The reason why we keep having this debate all the time is because our people are not educated. I'm sorry to say this. But our people are not well educated. That is the problem. If you can take out only 5 minutes, anybody calling themselves Niger Delta, I'm Ikole, I'm not Igbo, I'm Anyoma, I'm not Igbo. If you can take out only 5 minutes to read the Willing Commission report, white people wrote it, not blacks, then you will understand your stupidity. It will be staring you in the face. This is from Wike. According to a Willing report, white man in 1958, way before, almost 10 years before Go On created or gave you your new identity. More than I'm reading the report verbatim, white man's report, Willing, because they complained. Everywhere you go, Igbo man is there, in Igbocha, everywhere. We want minority, we want to be recognized. They call themselves minority. Is that correct? When Britain was tuning them, because Britain wanted unrestricted access to our oil and gas, and the only way to achieve it is to tell Ogoni people, yeah, you see, you are distinct, you are different. Ever since they started telling Ogoni people that they are different, have they succeeded? The answer is no. They come to Ijo, hey, Ijo Nation, Ijo, you're different, oh. Have you succeeded in getting your resource control? The answer is no. They come to the upper land of Igbo, which is from across Imo River. Not minding there's a place called Obibo. They tell you, oh, they hate you. This South Nigeria, they hate you. Look for one Igbo nation only. Don't mind them. And some intellectuals and the Fulefus will buy into it. They want to divide you to weaken you. You have forgotten that Ahoda people are Igbo people. Bone people are Igbo people. I want to challenge all of you now. You know, during the burning of the house of that traitor, that saboteur, called, do you know who was, go on appointed Dieter Spiff, the one they just chased away from his palace now, as the governor of River State. Are you aware of that? No, you don't know, but I'm telling you now. That man they pursued a few days ago from his palace. He's called Alfred Dieter Spiff, if I'm not mistaken. He was the saboteur that Gowon used to administer River State, to spy Tojuku. Understand? So they created natural saboteurs. You see this man you call, what's his name, Edwin Clark. Do you know why I hate him? He's a father, he's an elderly man. I should be respecting him. Is that not correct? According to our culture. Do you know why I hate him with a passion? He was a saboteur. They made him Minister for Information. That's how they roll. Janjaweed and their British masters, they gave them political positions. They now went back to go and convince their own people that Biafra is a bad thing for them to be part of because of political appointment. Are you following me? This man was sacked from his palace a few days ago. Are you listening to me? He was sacked. Do you know why he was sacked? I can't see everywhere on. Go and watch that video again. All the people from Nembe, I think it's Nembe in Brass, Tom Brass. I want you to go and watch the video of the indigents of Tuan Brass in Nembe or whatever it is, removing the very corrupt king Alfred Dieter Spiff. They were all speaking a dialect of Igbo in a Joland. Go and watch the video again and again and again. Are you listening to me? People ask me, why are you doing this? Are you begging them to join you? Why did you reject Igbo only Biafra? I said to them, as Oriental Boras sang in their song Kabaka in those days, I am only identifying with my flesh and my own blood, the same DNA, the same heritage, the same value system. In a referendum, they will have the chance to reject me. Then if they do, I will respect it. That is their own prerogative. And forever and ever, we will make it as a law that is binding on every generation, that these are no longer your people. And I'm behind you. That's what we're trying to do. We are not forcing anybody to do anything. I am doing what the ancients did. If you see your flesh and blood, you recognize them. That's all we are doing. That is all we are doing. I will get to the case of Ogoni and the rest of them later on. But I want our people to understand this. The reason why they are goading you or forcing you to adopt a different identity is because it will be easier for them to control you once we are divided. I have preached this gospel before and I'll preach it again. The only reason why they killed Ken Saro-Wiwa was because the Igbos did not rise up to defend him. That's all. The reason why they did not kill me whilst I was in detention was because of the Avengers. Not Igbo people. Of course, IPOB was formidable. I mean, blocking Head Bridge for 4 days. You know, who could have done that? And people ask me, why do I keep saying I will sacrifice anything for Biafra? Because they sacrificed everything for me. Head Bridge was blocked for 4 days. Avengers came out. Mainly Ijo youths came out to say we will blow up every Nigeria will not export any oil. Their number one demand was releasing Nnamdi Kanu from detention. How can I not preach about the unity of these people? Why won't I preach it? I hope that Wike can learn. Wike, I'm going to read Willing Commission report for you. More than 98% of people who inhabit this area is called the Igbo Plateau of the Eastern region. Do you know what it's called? It's called a plateau. You know what a plateau is? Like Plateau State. It's a tableland, it's a flat land. If you cross Ngwa, once you enter Ngwa, basically, if you don't know who the hills ends, you know why? Some of you that did geography, Udi Hills, the range of hills where you have hills and you have valley. Like if you go to Olokoro, if you go, there are hills, there are valleys, and all that. It ends in Omuahia. From Ungwa, it is now flat land all the way to the ocean. That was why the white man called it the Igbo Plateau. It is in the Willings report of 1958. Channels, are you listening? Wike, are you listening? I'm reading the report for you. They are all Igbo and they speak one language, though of course with certain differences of dialect. There are nearly 5 million of them and they are too many for the soil to support. They are vigorous and intelligent and have pushed outward in every direction, seeking a livelihood by trade or in service in the surrounding areas of the eastern region, in the western region, in the north and outside Nigeria. They are no more popular with their neighbors than is usual in the case of an energetic and expanding people whose neighbors have a more leisurely outlook on life. This is simple English written by a white man. Wike, are you listening? Channel Stevie, are you listening? A white man said in 1958, these people that inhabit the plateau of rivers, I call Igbocha, that is the proper name. You people, you are Igbo. You are intelligent. I'm not talking about Igbo people. You are very smart. You diverse. You travel out wide. You're energetic. You're hardworking. But the places you are going to, the people hate you. In the north, in the west, everywhere you go to, they hate you because those people are lazy. That's what the white man said. I didn't say it. It's here now in their paper. Hi. My goodness me. They hate us because we are hardworking. That is why they brought Ahmed Gulag to Owerri and killed him, that they may demonize and kill as many of us as possible. Because we are energetic. We are blessed by God. Everybody is in this together. Everybody in the former Eastern region. This is what a white man wrote about you in 1958. Do you know what the white man said again? As I've been teaching you for a very long time, Chibueze. Let me tell you what the white man said. Though there has been no great kingdoms or indigenous culture in the Eastern region, no great kingdom. The only reason why Britain hated us was because they could not have any one man to go to say, oh, tell them what to do. Because we had no kings. But the coastal chiefs means the Jaw people, the coastal chiefs, those who live by the very close to the Atlantic Ocean, they grew on their trade with European merchant ships, simply slavery. That's all they were doing. So some of you that claim you're from a Jaw, you're not Biafra, you are saboteurs. It's in your nature. You've been selling your brothers to the white man from time. You know me, I speak the truth. And I damn the consequences. When you see somebody from a Jaw land as a traitor, it didn't start today. They started selling us to the white man. Betrayal is in their blood. Look at Edwin Clark. Look at our data spiff. But I'm not going to generalize. The man that gave us the name Biafra that most Eja people say they don't want to identify with is an Eja man. That is the most, that is the irony of the whole thing. I thank God for Franco Pigo. I thank God for people I cannot mention their names here because I don't want the police looking for them. From Ijoland. I thank Tompolo. I thank all of them. They know who they are. That have this thing at heart. I'm not saying that Igbo politicians have helped any matters or no. They made it worse. And sometimes I don't blame our brothers from the coastal region. In the year 1999, I've said this story. I've told you this story about 1 billion times over, but I'll say it again tonight. When we were still running around or carrying bags for politicians, I left England to try to come to Biafra land to unite this great family. Then there was no IPOB. There was no agitation by anybody. This was before MASOP started. Before anybody mentioned Biafra to anybody. I was at a place called Obunabale in Iguacha, talking to the local chief, the traditional ruler there. And he said to me, my son, where are your fathers? This particular message you're bringing to me, your father should be bringing it here. A message of hope and reconciliation of our people. Because I sat him down and I lectured him about history and who we are, that we are one people. That was the day that I went to the office of Don Mite of Mosop. Ask him, he will tell you. The year was 1999. We've come a long way, haven't we? It's called consistency. I never change. Ask Mite, the leader of Mosop, what I told him in his office. I met him in his office in Niger Street. In Iguacha. I'll never forget. That day, I was coming from the home. I don't know if it's late now, because it's a very long time. I was coming from the home of the traditional ruler of Obuna Valley. You know, Hotel Chester is opposite. Dear, let Lord have mercy upon us. They don't know who we are. We have gone very far. Very, very far. I said Mosop. That was where I was going to copy the name from. Mosop. Movement for the survival of Ogoni people. That was the #1 freedom fighting movement that was instituted anywhere in the East. They are #1. Mosop was #1. Ogoni freedom fighters, they were #1. It was he merely copied the name because he was too lazy to do anything. So he just copied the name. Are you listening to me? The Rivers province include Brass and Degema. Brass and Degema were overwhelmingly Ejo. I told about one Brass a while ago where Dieter Spieth came from, where he was sacked a few days ago. They were speaking Igbo dialect. And then there was the Ogoni division. It is all here. In that very place, that time, out of a population in Rivers province of 747,000 people in the so-called River State, 305,000 were Igbo people. 240,000 were Ijo people. 156 were Ogoni people. The only 3 people mentioned, distinct groups mentioned in River State were Igbo, the owners of rivers, Igbo, Ejo, and Ogoni. Every other subgroup, you must find yourself under either you are Ogoni, you are Ejo, or you are Igbo. And the highest population of Igbo people in River State, the highest population of people in ethnic group in River State, Igbo people, in 1958. Oh, dear me, dear me, dear me, dear me. My goodness. I don't know if I'm to continue or to stop, because sometimes I don't know if our people are actually absorbing what we are telling them. I don't know. Let me tell you what happened. According to the white man said, in the whole of the non-Igbo areas, the Ijo and the Ogoni areas, there were some fear that they are being overrun by the Igbo. The Igbo includes Ikwere people, mind you, in their own land. There was fear of being overrun commercially and politically by the Igbos. If Ahoda and Port Harcourt, which is Iguacha, which are really Igbo, a white man, are you listening to me? I've forgotten all the, I've forgotten, I have other things to preach, but I want to educate this fool and Channels TV. Yoruba journalists, I want to educate you. Because some of you are very daft, you know nothing. I'm reading what a white man investigated and reported upon in 1958. What did this white man say? The white man said, in non-Igbo areas, which is Ijo and Ogoni, they are afraid that Igbo man will overrun them commercially and politically. This Igbo man includes Ikwere man, which is Wike's lineage. Wike's people. They said, if Ahoda and Port Harcourt, which are really Igbo, a white man said, Iguacha is Igbo. The people that colonized you, said, Iguacha is Igbo. It is here. Willing commission that you cried to. You were the people that petitioned him and said, we are minority, we are dying, come and save us. The white man came and said and told you that are Hoda and Igwacha Port Harcourt are Igbo. It was considered the solid center of Igbo population. The fear and grievances of minorities. Why this commission was set up. After today, I will not read this very subject again. Please make sure, our media team, make sure you cut out this very thing. Anybody who talks nonsense about Nigeria, South, please cut this very clip and give it to that very individual so they can receive some sense. I am asking them, I am giving them references. I'm not asking them to just sit in one place and accept what I'm saying. No, I'm asking them to go and do research on what I have said. On what I have said. The allegation was put forward by the counsel to the petitioners that the judiciary was predominantly Igbo, with the implication that this caused fear among those who are not Igbos. But it was clearly stated in the evidence by Dr. Udoma, the leader of UNIP, that no occasion could be adduced of the judiciary acting with partiality. So the white people concluded that the fears of the so-called minorities were unfounded, because this man, Dr. Udoma, came and said to them, show us an instance of impartiality by the judges. And they couldn't show anything. They couldn't. That tells you all you need to know. Do some of you know the reason why most people from core areas, which is Cross River, Rivers, and the Goja region in those days, were mainly, police officers? It was as a result of this willing commission. He was the one that recommended that, okay, if you are afraid that you're going to be overrun, okay, give them priority in the police service. That's why most of them were in the police. That is a historical fact. It is here. Anyway, when Wike is done, I don't want you to get that fool anymore. Maybe tomorrow channels will interview him again. He'll start talking his usual rubbish as the fool that he is. That is why somebody will go to Ahaba and ban Biafran flag. The same person banning Biafran flag were part of the people that came to the same Ahaba and massacred people in broad daylight. When I look at the irony of the whole thing, it baffles me. When I see people from Ogoni say they want to be part of one Nigeria, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Honestly, I'm horrified. You mean the same one Nigeria that killed Cancer Wiwa? That is why I say that sometimes people are very, very sick in the brain, honestly speaking. The same people today claiming the police, we are banning Biafran flags in Delta State. They know what they are doing. They have been forcing us all this while, trying to frustrate us so that IPOB can say, okay, give us only 5 southeastern states, let's go. That's what they want. And any day we say they'll give it to us. That is what they want. But we are saying no. Because that wasn't what Elohim told us. God said, these are my children. From Igodomigod all the way to Bakassi, they are my children. They must be under one house. Different ethnicities, but under one umbrella. Later on, they can go their separate ways. I don't care. But insofar as this fight is concerned, so that when Fulani will be slaughtering you in time to come, we'll simply tell you, we told you so. As I'm telling all of you, I told you so. When I told about people in America, why do you think that they now love us so much in World Igbo Congress? Because I told them in no uncertain terms that these people, they are coming. Yes, they are coming. They said, oh, how do you know? I said, I know, but they are coming. Have they not come today? Are people not running from Omahia, from Obakala, from everywhere Ibeko yesterday night, saying they have come? I told you they will come. I told you. In the year 2015, I told you they are going. It doesn't matter what you do, they are coming to take your land from you. The same people that stood us up and shot us to pieces in our Sabah is telling us, you don't have any identity. You are what we call you. You are now Delta. But in the north, they call themselves Arewa. In the core north, I don't mean Middle Belt. They are Arewa. No one has actually said to them, okay, from today your name is Sahel. Since you're from the Sahel region, your name is Sahel. You're all Sahelians. But they can come to my land and say, you're a Deltan, you're a Riverian, you're a Cross Riverian. God have mercy. But you cannot ask them now to drop the name Arewa and they will listen to you. They'll tell you no, they won't drop it. Let us call them the Sahelians. He says that from the Sahel. Yeah. The death is not in Ebonyi State, is in Ebonyi. People that were wrongly carved into Benue State. That is where the problem is coming from, please. And we're going to do, ESN is going there, we're going to deal with it. In the next few days, you start hearing stories. We're going to deal with it. A little boy wrote to me, and I've read what he said to me, and we're going to respond. In the next few days, men will be on the ground to defend those places. Don't worry about that. We know what we're doing. And I don't want to talk about Wike again, it's irrelevant. Yeah, let him go and change his pampers and go and meet Tambuwa. It's Tambuwa that will deal with him. Anything, he can say whatever rubbish he likes on Channel TV. My only happiness is that when he goes inside the bedroom, Tambuwa will deal with him. That's my only happiness. That's my only happiness. The killing of Igbo people in Benue State must stop. Governor Otome, a man that I like very much, and I respect immensely. The killing in Benue State of Igbo people must stop. And the killing of fact of everybody in Benue State must stop. Not just Igbo people. Everybody, the killing must stop. And if help is needed, that help will be provided. Yes, after after talking all your rubbish, my happiness is that in the night you'll be crying because Tambuwal will be on your back and be dealing with you. Be dealing with you. Idiot to the guy. Fool. The killing of people in Benue must stop. And when people are asking ESN to intervene, when people are asking ESN to intervene, you must understand that we are fighting many battles at the same time. Exactly what happened during the war. We are fighting Miyetti Allah, the frontline Fulani terrorist group we have. Before, imagine what we have to negotiate before we come into your village in Benue. We have to fight Miyetti Allah. We have to fight the Nigeria police. We have to fight the Nigeria army. We have to fight, I hope going forward, I won't say we have to fight the governors. So let me leave them out for now. We have to fight all the saboteurs, the finger pointers. We have to fight the intellectuals. And we need to overcome Yoruba Gota media. These are the battles we face every blessed day. Tell me a group of people that will face such formidable adversaries and they will survive. But we are here. We are here. So these are the issues that we have to confront, but we are going to Benue and we're going to help them. ESN will be in Benue State and we are going to help Benue people. And we are not coming to take over your land. We are coming to help you. There is nothing. I am a child of heaven. I am Hebraic in my disposition. What it means is that I cannot take any land that doesn't belong to me. Do you understand? That is why in our culture, when you commit an offense where somebody, as a child, you are trained that some capital crimes is a crime against the land, not crime against humanity. You understand? That is why when you want to offer prayers, you take off your shoes and you stand on the land. You pour kai libation, hot drink on the ground itself. That is why if you commit a capital crime, the land which you stand upon, because on that land you're going to build a house, on that land you're going to cultivate, on that land you're going to be buried. This is how the ancients structured our society. So even if nobody is watching you when you want to commit a crime, the land you're standing on is watching you. I can't wait for Biafra to come so we can go back to the way of our ancestors. The old ways, the ways of the ancient. That is why in our land, we abhor things like selling of children. It's an abomination before God and before man. And anywhere you know people from today who are selling children, please let us know. Anywhere you know people, any doctor, any midwife, any hospital, any maternity home involved in the selling of children, please, you notify us so we can go and deal with them. So also is kidnapping. God is against it. Our land is against it. We don't want it. That is why I want to commend the Nnewi Vigilante group for busting a racket. There's a racket going on somewhere around Ubo. People selling small children. And do you know one thing? Surprise, surprise, the police are involved in the selling of children in our land. People don't understand the level of atrocities going on in our land every blessed day and the work we are doing to try to stop them. I commend the Nnewi Vigilante group for doing a very stellar work. And I have also instructed ESN. We have no business with legitimate vigilante groups like the ones we have in Nnewi and in Onitsha. It's only when they try to interfere with our work that they will get into trouble. So we must commend them. And that we now have the name of the maternity. We have the police officers who are involved. And very soon we're going to pay them a visit. Maybe you read about it in the pages of newspapers as well. And another thing that is very worrying is this. There is news making the rounds that we have caught those that killed Ahmed Gulag and we shot them. That's what they said, without going to trial. Now, people have been approaching us begging for peace, for truce, and all the rest of it. Let's try and give peace a chance, which is normal. After the very successful lockdown yesterday, let's give peace a chance. I want the Nigeria police, where I'm warning them in Imo State. Imo State Police Command. I want you to identify all the officers that killed people and tag them the murderers of Ahmed Gulag. You must give us the evidence that you have. Because all this, your plan is not going to work. Katrina Lang, Tinubu, Monguno, El Rufai, all these stupid, idiotic village plan you people made to come and kill a man who is of no consequence to us. A man, we didn't even know who this man was before Sunday. Who is he? A wretched church rat. Who is he to us that we would want to kill him? And I want to warn Yoruba media tonight. From 1967, you people have been part and parcel of the problem of Nigeria. After Nigerian politicians, the next group are Yoruba media, Yoruba journalists. You don't want to leave evil alone for evil to leave you. You people have come back to the same rubbish you were doing before. There is no repentance in you because of money. There is no repentance in you people. No repentance whatsoever. You've been writing your junk. How Ahmed Gulag was killed. And because of that, an innocent man has been murdered in Mina, somewhere. There is something in this life called common sense. And when I insult black people for being stupid or being the closest relatives to a chimpanzee, this is exactly the same. This is the reason why I say the things that I say against black people and the way we reason. Black people are very, very foolish. I don't care if children are listening. We black people are very foolish. Now, let me ask Yoruba journalists one simple question. I don't want to, because Fulani is uneducatable. You can't educate them, they're foolish. I want to ask Yoruba people, these sophisticated morons that claim they went to school, a very simple question. A man of national importance came to Imo State at the instance of the state governor, or say the Senate sent him to Imo State, in a place where there is supposedly insecurity. Is that correct? I want Yoruba journalists to listen to me very carefully tonight, because you people are evil. I don't know if you derive, you people are sadists. I don't know if you derive any joy by twisting the truth. I don't know what you people gain by lying. I don't know. I want to ask you a simple question. If the Senate, as they claim, sent this man to go and conduct constitutional review, of course, we know he went there to ask Hope Uzodinma for money. He went to Imo State so that Hope can settle him. He was the one that made Hope governor. We know that very well. But let's leave that to one. Let us take the official government line of Nigeria. That Gulag was in Imo State to do Senate work, open consultation. Man, he's an APC man, but Senate is not claiming he went to work for them. Let us accept. Where was his security on his way to the airport? According to the police, this is why I keep saying that black people do not reason. According to the police said he never told anybody where he was going to. He never asked for any escort, which means that the man knew that his life was in danger from you people, from the army and from the police, or from those that control you people. Does that make any sense at all? Let me finish what I'm saying before I go to this killing of people, 8 people in Omai. I'll talk about it. If you don't want to organize yourselves and fight back, keep on. If you see the army, keep going to them. These are terrorists in uniform, both army and police. I have warned you, you don't want to listen. Go to them now. Your intellectual brother in Lagos or in Abuja will be writing nonsense. Is our security services. And I asked them, where are the Boko Haram that was recruited into the police and into the army? Where are they? I don't know what's normal here, killing people. Don't organize yourselves and fight back. Just be there. And everything you want us to do for you, everything we have to do for you. No, we are not. Every able-bodied young man and woman, avoid army, avoid police. If you see them, you attack them. I'm saying it in the open. They are killing people in Omaha right now. 8 people already shot dead. 8 people killed in Omaha now. And you're telling me rubbish about Chirekapu and the one Nigeria. God punish all of you. Idiots everywhere. As I was saying to Yoruba, sophisticated morons, idiots that write for their columnists and all these correspondence that they have. If Gulag was on a national assignment for the Senate, why did this man not tell the army or the police to escort him to the airport? Simple question. Because he knew after meeting Hope Uzodinma that his life was in danger, because Hope, being a 419 man, had no intention to give him the money that he had promised him. Very simple. Ali Monguno used it as a perfect excuse to kill him. Yoruba newspapers, why have you failed to publish the video of Ahmed Gulag where he was accusing Monguno of corruption and he was praying in Arabic, saying that he is not afraid of any man, that they can do anything they like to him? Did you read it? So, Yoruba journalists, you people are part and parcel of the plan to eliminate and wipe away the Igbo race from the face of the earth. All of you are part of this very plan. That was the reason why, without any investigation, you rushed to conclude that it was IPOB ESN that killed him. How many people have we killed before? You people are part and parcel of this very plan, Yoruba journalists, to kill Igbo people. And you wonder why Yorubas are in Benin Republic in refugee camps. Where I come from is called Akainsi Bahonu. The hand with which you have fed poison to other people, you will inadvertently put in your mouth, and you become poisoned. As you're busy writing junk about IPOB and ESN, Fulani al-Shabaab from Somalia are in your land, taking over your territory. By the time you wake up from your stupidity, to be too late. I will ask you again, why would any day there is any some form of independent inquiry into the death of Ahmed Gulak, the first question will be, why did he not seek police escort to the airport? Therein lies the answer. And I also want to teach Nigerians, these black animals called Nigerians, a very simple lesson. Please, a very simple lesson. You know, when there is murder, all of you that may watch murder series, CSI or New York or whatever it's called, all those US movies, you will see it there. If you go to a police station anywhere in the Western world, those of you listening to us from the US or from the UK, if you go to anywhere at all now, go to a police station and ask the policeman, when there is murder, who is the first suspect? If it's a man, the first suspect will be the wife. Because very rarely do people you don't know commit crime randomly. No. His was a targeted assassination. Therefore, it is those who are close to him that will know what happened to him. Any detective in the world, the first place they will start is from his phone book. Who did he have dinner with? The last people that he saw, that is where their investigation will start. In this case, it's Hope Uzodinma and those in APC. And those he was. In fact, after that, the police will ask you, does he have enemies? I'm just teaching you people what the IG of police doesn't even know. The IG don't know this. Ask any policeman in the world, when you're investigating a homicide, the first suspects are people who are close to the man, starting from the wife, the children, the friends, and the political associates. Isn't it how it is done everywhere in the world? Do you know why somebody close to him killed him? Because he was fearful of his own life. That was why he sneaked out of the hotel. He did not want to let the police or the army to know. If the police and the army do not know his whereabouts, how can IPOB know? Simple question. After all these overwhelming evidence, a Yoruba journalist, what type of God made these people, will sit down and be writing nonsense. That suspects are IPOB and ESN. And I want to ask this, all these years of writing junk and supporting evil, where has it gotten the Yoruba race? Are you people benefiting? Are you having fun in Nigeria? All these years of writing nonsense after nonsense, trying to incite genocide against Igbo people, what have you benefited? Yoruba journalist, I'm asking you. Tomorrow morning night you will write. ESN is a suspect, IPOB. But the man did not even tell the army. He avoided them because he knew his life was in danger at the hands of the army and the police. Don't you get it? And how come those with him in the vehicle were not killed? How come it's only him? Where is the driver of the vehicle he was riding in? Have you interrogated him? The police went to somewhere around Mbisa and killed people, and they are claiming that they are, what's it called? We found them. Found them where? With what evidence do you have? And some people are writing rubbish on social media. And you're telling me that the Nigerian army, they deserve to live? That the Nigerian police, they deserve to live? Today in Omaha, 8 people killed, that they deserve to live. God punish all of you evil people. As I said from the beginning, they will kill us, we will kill them. In the end, we are going to win. That's the way it is. Do you know that after our successful lockdown yesterday, Southeast governors are now meeting? People talk about the history of insecurity in the Southeast without starting it from the beginning. They always start it from the middle. Let me ask the governors who are meeting, who brought insecurity into the Southeast and South-South? Simple question. When you hear them, we want peace. I'm asking the Southeast, I was praising them a while ago, but now I'm about to teach them a lesson. I'm asking them, who brought insecurity into the Southeast? Now, let us follow this sequentially. By the time of Operation Python Dance 1, did IPOB kill anybody? What justification did you have to invite the army to come and do Python Dance in our land, killing people every year? It's a massive call. Every year they come in as they're doing right now. Even in Omaya, I'm told now they've killed 8 young people this night in Omaya. Southeast governors, I want to ask you again. When I had meetings with you, August of 2017, did I bring a gun to Enugu government house? When I was doing my rallies, did I kill anybody? For idiots asking me, where are you? When I was there doing my rallies, where were you? I was doing rallies. I will want to go to a state. Umahi threatened me, if you come to my state, I will kill you there. We had to break their cordon to go and do my rally, and I left. The video is there. Umahi, who brought insecurity. I want to ask you, Baz, when you were looking at the looted goods from my sitting room in government house with the then IG of police, did I kill anybody? In what way did I offend you? We went to a meeting. I went to a meeting with the governors and I told them what I wanted. I gave them my terms and my conditions to call off Anambra elections. That's all. They failed to meet it. In fact, basically they said, go home. We'll call you back next time. Next time, they came to kill me. Who brought insecurity into our land? I'm asking them. 2015, the killing of innocent protesters. 2016, Mbo massacre. 2017, the invasion of my house. Operation Python Dance 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know. I lost 28 men. My mom, my dad are both dead as a result of Southeast governors, what they did. I'm asking them. So when you want to sit down to talk about insecurity, please start from the beginning. The same people meeting today to try and discuss insecurity were the ones who caused it. They caused it, not us. And we must all now live with the consequences. Those who want to destroy this country have shock coming their way, says President. Now, this is what the presidency, which is the Fulani cabal, what they have put together. Can I also remind the governors and all these idiots in Nigeria writing rubbish every day? You can't kill people's children and expect their brothers not to react. It's stupidity. It's called vengeance. There'll be vengeance, of course. So you're wearing army uniform, you're killing people, and you think every army officer will be safe. As long as you're going about killing innocent people, you are putting every army person on uniform at risk. The same goes for the police. All those years, you people were not going about slaughtering people. Was there any reaction? You people are the cause. You people, you come out, NSAS protests, you are there killing people. And you think that their brothers or their cousins will not avenge their death. You're joking. You are dreaming. You can write all your fanciful epistle about one Nigeria, insecurity, all that rubbish. From now till that kingdom come, it will not make any difference to us. No difference whatsoever. If you kill somebody, you're going to die. Be rest assured. Jacob Obuno Kodian, there are God punish all of you. Mad people everywhere. They said their president have written. But of course, we know it is Garba Shehu and El Rufai and Femi Adesina who are writing. You stupid animals called Nigerians. A speech of this magnitude should have been made by the president in person if he's alive. But some of you cannot reason. You want 2023 is the turn of my village and all that rubbish. So Yoruba media, you're demonizing Biafrans over the death of Gulag so that Tinubu can be president. And when they deny him presidency now, like Abiola, you ask Nigerians, come, let's go and demonstrate. Parochialism. That's what it's called. Let me ask, I have some questions to ask. They said the President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday issued a stern warning to those who are bent on destroying the country through promoting insurrection and burning down critical national assets. A rude shock awaits them. What shock awaits me at Yala? Fulani, I'm asking you, from the Caliphate chairman, Sultan of Sokoto, to the last idiot, Alamajiri Janjaweed on the street, I want to ask you a simple question. Let me ask, I want to say this thing. I want to ask Nigerians a question. Please. You know, God, black people, in my next life, I can't be a black person now. I have never seen a more stupid set of people. It may be the way Europeans are treating us, our colonial masters are treating us, is what we deserve. I'm telling you the truth. Maybe we deserve it. You people, you claim you are Nigerians, you went to school. Have you ever wondered why this government, they have never ever criticized ISIS? Every day is Boko Haram this, Boko Haram that, every day. Have you ever wondered why they have never? I want you to show me one single publication after the atrocities of these Fulani vagabonds and terrorists, where the government of Nigeria condemned ISIS in West Africa province. Show me one publication. It has never occurred to you people in your infinite stupidity. It has never occurred to you. You have never asked yourself, why is it that these people burning down, destroying Plateau State, Benue State, they are now in Niger State, why can't the government condemn them? Why not? Answer that question. But they are busy talking about agitation. You want to divide. And I want to do something I asked the governors now. I want to ask the Fulani presidency of Nigeria. My dear Fulani Janjaweed, who brought insecurity into Nigeria? A simple question. Which people own the fourth most deadliest terror group in the world? Is it not your so-called headsman Miet Yala? Fulani, who started the bombing of churches in Nigeria? Is it not you people? You are now turning around with the help of the chameleonic Yoruba media to twist the narrative. The same thing I asked the Southeastern governors. Southeastern governors who brought Operation Python Dance. Before you brought it, did you hear of any violent agitation anywhere? Why people fail to ask these questions, I don't understand. You are in a country you claim is the most populous, the biggest. I'm asking you, why is it that the government do not want to condemn the terrorist activities of ISIS in West Africa? Some of you were there writing. Our general, chief of defense, what's his name again? Atahiru, that idiot. Atahiru, Ibrahim Atahiru. He did very well. He eliminated the Shekau with the help of ISIS. Oh, Nigeria army is now working with ISIS. Now the next question is, what does ISIS stand to gain from Nigerian army? All of you Yoruba journalists, you're there writing junk every blessed day. You cannot reason. You can't reason. Oh, anyway, you're black. How can I expect you to reason in this UG? The same question I asked the governors who are meeting today. Umahi, Ugwani, Obiano, Ibazo, and that time it was Rochas or Abogawasa. Who brought insecurity into the East? Who brought the army to start killing innocent young people? Simple question. The same question goes to Yoruba journalists tonight, those evil people, and Fulani Caliphate. Fulani, let me ask you, who brought insecurity into Nigeria? Fulani, who were the first people to bear arms openly in Nigeria as civilians? Is it not you people? Claiming you're Fulani cattle headsmen with AK-47? Please, somebody should go and get me that video I shot at Amansia very, very many years ago. I think it was 2014 or so. Go and get it and show them. You people were the first to carry AK-47. So Fulani can carry AK-47, but not Eastern Security Network. Protecting the people. I want
we black people to engage our brain for once. I know we are idiotic, I know we are animalistic in our disposition, but I want us to reason for once in our lives. Reason, stupid black people, reason for once. Who brought insecurity into Nigeria? The same people that brought insecurity into Nigeria are today lecturing us about insecurity. Asorok, what has been happening in North over these years? Is there anybody left in Zamfara, in Yobe, in Borno? You abandoned all these hotspots of Fulani terrorism. You are interested in the East. You see the stern warning. Let me tell you something, Fulani. You underestimate us. You don't know that we went to school. I didn't go to school in the zoo, you know. I went to UNN. I went to Soka. They were talking rubbish every blessed day, and I left the useless place. I went to London to study. You don't know we're educated. You have no bloody idea. Now, let me tell you something, Asorok. That thing you're looking for, you're going to get it. We are going to have another war. Another Nigeria-Biafra war is going to happen. In fact, it started already anyway. But let me tell you something that you don't understand. This war will escalate to the point whereby the world will want to see you. They want you to address the world as to what is happening. That day, that mask you're wearing, I'm talking to Yusuf Abubakar Mohammed from the Niger Republic wearing Buhari mask. That mask you're wearing will melt on your face during the meeting. Because now the world will summon you to, you'll be summoned to attend. That your mask will melt on your face. Then the zoo will be in trouble. You don't know there's a method of madness. I told you. Some of you right now cannot go back to your villages. It's been taken over by bandits. You did not see the video of the young man lamenting in Zamfara. You have not done anything. A government that is working with ISIS, Islamic State, is lecturing us about insecurity in the East. You people should come. Come now. You have killed 8 no more here today. Maybe tomorrow or next, 16 of you will die. It's simple now. You write your rubbish, you call your lament, you send more soldiers, you bring them, and they will die. You bring more, and they will die. God punish all of you. You want to be clever. Like Southeast governors, they want to be clever. Insecurity. Who brought Operation Python dance? I'm asking them. Who fired the first shot? I'm asking them. Who brought the army to start killing people? I'm asking them. Now the people are saying enough is enough. You are talking insecurity everywhere. Insecurity everywhere. INEC said, it doesn't matter. We conduct election. Come and conduct and let us see. In Anambra, in November. I'm laughing in Greek. In Anambra election. You think we're going to beg people, oh, stay at home, don't come out. No. There'll be no election in Anambra in November. Instead, heaven will fall. That'll be none. Watch and see. Watch and see. We'll put on video. I ain't got no cinema. We'll put on cinema for you. You'll be watching in November. Come and do election and let us see. Maybe Obiano should prepare to stay in office longer, or they should appoint somebody else because there's been no election in Anambra State. So you can bring another hope into Anambra. People are joking. The same people bombing, killing, raping, and sacking villages are telling me about insecurity. Is it not the same Asorok that said, the same Femi Adesina writing rubbish, telling you, you either give your land for Ruga or your life will go? Are you not the same people? Are you not the same people? You are now trying to tell us about insecurity because people are fighting back. That's all. You bring your army and police as the advance guard. Right now, as I speak, the Fulani hit squad in Abia State is inside Obinze military barracks. Obinze. They are there. That's where they are camped. Every Fulani attacking every village, both in Yoruba land, they quarter them very close to a Fulani-controlled military barracks. That's what they do. I want Nigeria, our country. We need unity. That's rubbish. No wonder white people are racist towards black people and no other race. Because they do. I have discovered what they found out a long time ago, that black people are foolish. They can't reason very well. Somebody who told you that if he loses elections, the monkeys and baboons will be soaked in blood is now telling us, allegedly, about insecurity. The idiots that lost elections and they killed youth coppers, 11 of them, Igbo people, is telling me about insecurity. The person that said an attack against Boko Haram is an attack against the North is telling me about insecurity. The people appointed as the spokespeople, chief negotiator for Boko Haram is telling me about insecurity. And you swallow all this nonsense every day. Chineke Meluna Bere and these black people. This work is a burden that Elohim has given to me. It's a burden. And that's why I'm discharging it. I will take one or two of your calls before we bring this program to a close. You know the numbers to call, of course, is on WhatsApp. I'll give you a WhatsApp number to call. Some of you know it already, and some will start calling very shortly. The WhatsApp number to call is +44, is a UK number, 7951278705. The lines are open. I'll take a few calls, please, and try to make some sense. I want to take a few calls, please. +44 7951278705. That is on WhatsApp. If you call us, I will take your call. If you call us, I will take your call. Are they calling already? Somebody's calling already. Let's take this call. The caller on the line, can you hear me, please? Your name and where you're calling from. Can you hear me? No, they can't. It says it's connecting. Maybe the network is very poor. The network is very poor. Let's take this one on signal. The caller on the line, can you hear me?
Mazi, good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, please. Your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Chinedu Musu. I'm calling from Hungary.
From Hungary, please go ahead. We're listening.
Sir, Mazi, please, what I have to say that is this. Please, all these army barracks in our land, we need to flush them away. All these army barracks. These are terrorists in uniform.
Of course, they're terrorists. Of course, they're terrorists.
They are terrorists.
They are terrorists.
Flush them.
Yes,
out of Biafra land. This is my contribution, sir.
Thank you very much. And that is why I keep asking people, I keep asking Yoruba journalists, you people supporting Fulani because of Tinubu. All those Boko Haram terrorists recruited into the army, where are they? Yes. Where are they? How do we know that the Olokwa on the road is a Gen police officer or a terrorist in uniform? How do we know? How do you distinguish? Nobody can tell. Tomorrow, our Nigeria, we want to vote. In 2023, we vote out and we put in the useless set of idiots. Thank you for your call, my dear brother. The caller on the line, can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening, sir. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Good evening to you.
So, my name is Naifan, calling from Germany.
Yes, go ahead.
I beg, wait, I want to talk because the way that they kill our people for Biafra land, I know they have, we are the shed tears. Anytime I see dead body. Not because I just tired. The world need to come rescue.
The world cannot do anything. The world wants you to be killed. The world hates you. You defend yourself. I have told them. Now listen to me very carefully. I have told our young people, you enter the bush. Enter the bush. I told you during NSAS, they did not listen. Good life, watching Champions League, supporting foreign football clubs have gotten into their brain. Enter into the bush. Ambush every army vehicle you see. There are things you can do. You can put nails on the road. You can cut down trees. You can block them and you kill them off. Why are we all the time lament? We keep lamenting. I'm not interested in that rubbish. I don't want to hear any lamentation. Do something about it. It's called a guerrilla war. Do something about it. Do something about it. The caller on the line, can you hear me? No, let me go and take this other one. The caller on the line, can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Bobina. It's Ezogo, and I'm from here in Pennsylvania, USA.
Pennsylvania, USA. Please speak in English, please. The world is listening. Speak in English. The world is listening.
Okay. I'm calling from USA, Pennsylvania.
Please go ahead.
Mazi, thank you very much for everything you are doing for Igbo people and Biafra as a whole. I'm taking this opportunity to greet you and say, may God Almighty continue to bless you and strengthen you in Jesus' name.
Yes, sir.
Mazi, I want to make my contribution that I think that our problem is not even anybody else but our leaders, our Igwes. All these people that comes out on TV to talk nonsense about Igbo people or Biafra people and about our struggle. I think it is the high time we must not wait for ESN or IPOB. As a youth, any place you are, all these our Igwes, because you can see that the Abuja control the governor and the governors control our elders. My uncle is Igwe. I'm from Mudiamokwe. Every year, they give them car, they pay their salaries. They build mansions everywhere. Now, if we were able to capture our leaders, if you watch like the Yoruba leaders, the Yoruba agitators, they do the work, they hold their elders, but we don't have our elders. We lost them to the governors, and the governors obey we lost our elders to the governors, and the governors obey Fulani. So if we can be able to organize ourselves, we don't need to wait for ESN, we don't need to wait for IPOB. We want a group of people. Anyway, all these our Igbo's that talk nonsense. Once they finish saying they talk on TV, once they are home, we make sure that their houses are burned down, their cars are burned down. You see that they'll come out on TV. When they ask them questions, they'll start shaking their mouth. So this is a collective work by everybody, not only IPOB. Anybody that listens to me all over the world, it is time for us Igbos, for us Biafrans. Don't wait for Nnamdi Kanu, don't wait for IPOB, don't wait. Even if you are two people, put a bottle of fuel in a bottle, set it fire, throw it there, it will catch fire. We must not wait for it.
Thank you. They will see them coming. You will be in your upstairs. You will see them with only 2 hillocks coming to arrest somebody or to kill. You'll be there tweeting, oh, they have come. Oh, they only have one exit, one entry, Why don't you block it and firebomb them? And they will roast to death. And you'll be so every time it's give us gun. And I'm asking you a simple question. Have you read Yoweri Museveni's The Mustard Seed? If I give you a gun, what are you going to do with it? So you just go outside and start shooting anything anyhow? The person coming to kill you has a gun. Take it from him and kill him. Look at Ambazonia, how they're doing it. You are there watching Champions League. You support Man U. You support Chelsea. You want to kill goat. You want to wear Chelsea uniform. London is quiet, oh, where Chelsea is. And you're busy making noise, Hosa. With cow, going to church with cow. And you're telling me that black people are normal. Of course we're not normal. We're a bunch of idiots, I'm telling you the truth. The caller on the line, can you hear me? The caller on the line, can you hear me? No, they cannot hear me. The caller on the line, can you hear me? Good evening, I can't hear you. Your voice is very deep. Please speak up.
My name is Chukwu and I'm calling from Lagos.
Go ahead, please. We are listening now. Go ahead, yes.
Okay, sir. I am from Ebonyi State.
Yes.
And my contribution this... Yes, I can hear you, sir. I can hear you.
Go ahead.
My name is Chukwu and I live in Lagos, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, sir. I am from Ebonyi State. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I am boiling. First of all, I want to thank you for what you have been doing for us. But as I'm talking to you now, I want to become a suicide bomber. I need a gun. I want to go back to home. You don't.
Let me tell you something. If we distribute gun to everybody that says they need a gun, it will become a free for all. That is not how it is done. You come back, you are trained properly. It cannot be if you're not into what we are doing. How can we just give gun to anybody to go out on the sea and start shooting everything that moves? You need to use your brain first of all. If you know that they are coming, you funnel them into a kill zone. They don't know they are. I don't know how or is it everything I will say live on air? My goodness. somebody is coming to kill you. All of you cannot organize yourselves. You don't know what is a guerrilla war? Guerrilla war is not face me, I face you. You shoot me, I shoot you. No, you ambush them. Let's say now they're coming from Enugu to, let's say, to Aba to come and kill. You know that, our people, we claim we have brain, but sometimes we don't use it. You know that thing they use to stop a vehicle? You can go and get a plank, put nails on it. The roads are not well lit. You scatter the nails on the road. Since people want me to be saying it in the public, their tire will deflate. They will park there. And then you hit them from the nearby bushes. That's how these things are done. Do I have to be telling you these things all the time? It's called a guerrilla war for a reason. You lure them in and you kill them. We outnumber them. By the time they keep dying in our land, they will stop sending more to come. It happened before. And it's going to happen again. Please. People should stop saying, give us. What have you done? You are there. You people are over 5,000 people, and only 16 people with 4 Hilux vans will come into your place and kill and drive away. Do you have army at Ungwa High School in Aba? You cannot surround them and take their guns from them? Is that what you're telling me? Everybody, anyway, let us go and celebrate Chelsea. Our people, they're celebrating Chelsea. Chelsea won. This UG, as if they know who you are. The caller on the line, can you hear me, please?
Yes, Mazi, I can hear you.
Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Here. Yes, sir. My name is Nnamdi Kanu. I'm calling from Texas, US.
Please raise your voice for me. Raise your voice for me.
That is fine. Can you hear me better now, Mazi?
It's better now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Mazi. I am originally from Umuahia, and I am happy for the compliance rates yesterday in Umuahia. But there is something. Umuahia is not a business hub. It's just very scarcely populated. So getting people to want to do something in self-defense is difficult. Like the last caller who talked about who lives in Lagos and talks about what is happening in Ebonyi. I think we should encourage him to go back home, join IPOB and do the needful. But the Umuahia people, having complied yesterday, Mazi sends a signal to us IPOB members and to you in the management that they are ready now. These people are ready to take the bull by the horn. The people dying, my family and all those people are dying in Umuahia right now. Mazi, I think that a little more motivation will do. We are ready to do whatever we can to support. If we have to support them to learn how to produce line mines and all those things to get these people out of the place. But if IPOB families in Umuahia can rally people more, the young people more, to teach them what to do. Ojukwu Bunker is located there. We have all been there. We know that we can do better than this. But a little bit more motivation will do, because having invaded Umuahia now and seeing that there is almost no resistance, they will not leave that place. Mazi, you have talked about Molotov cocktail and everything that can be done, but I feel like there needs to be an infusing of energy into the people to take the bull by the horn.
We are going to do it. Don't worry about that. Yes. We are going to kill them. People should watch and say, our people are very. There is a way we will rise up now to go against them. I'm telling you, Igbo people in Lagos, especially in Lagos, you know that place produces a lot of rubbish. They will start writing nonsense. They will be the one that will volunteer themselves. Oh, I'm Igbo. I'm a Biafran. He's not more Biafran than me. But I will also ask people to ask themselves this question. Why do you think that Yoruba doesn't report the killing of our people by the army and the police? I don't understand it. I don't know why they do it. I'll leave it to them and their conscience. The caller on the line, can you hear me, please?
Hello?
They're not ready. The caller on the line, can you hear me? For the last time, the caller on the line, can you hear me? No.
Hello?
No, you are wasting time. I have no time to waste. The caller on the line, can you hear me? I will ask again. The caller on the line, can you hear me? I don't know if they can't. I don't know why they can't hear me. I have no idea. Can you hear me?
No, they are wasted. They want to hear their own voice. And on that note, we have come to the end of our program this very evening. I thank all of you for listening. And as always, for some people, Biafra can be whatever they want it to be, but to us, it is our religion. And here on radio, Biafra is where we worship, because Almighty God, Elohim, as we read in the book of Psalm today, which I urge each and every one of you to recite, is our God. I thank you very much for listening, and believe it or not, with all the love in my heart from me from here, good evening.